Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pioneery Paper Crafts. It is Sunday at 7:15 p.m. and I was just playing in my craft room. I'm headed to the cottage tomorrow, so I thought I would pop on and do a live showing you some of the things I've been playing with. At 7:15. So welcome. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Ottawa, Canada. And I typically go live on Fridays, although in the summer it's a little tricky. But typically I go live on Fridays at 3 o'clock. And sometimes I just pop on at other times when I'm in my craft room and I want to share something. And that's exactly what's happening today. So just a couple of things I want to remind you about. In July, you can earn bonus coupons. So in Canada, every $60 that you spend, you earn a $6 coupon, which is 10%, that you can redeem in August. It's great, great time to shop, especially if you need to stock up on some of your glues or papers. You may as well earn a free coupon. And the other thing that's happening right now is online exclusives. And one of the bundles I'm going to show you today, well, the bundle I'm going to show you today is one of the online exclusives. It's sold out the very first day it was released, but it's supposed to be back in stock tomorrow, Monday, July 17th. So I'm hoping it is, because that's what I'm using today to share some ideas with you. So hopefully it is back in stock, but if it's not back in stock tomorrow, it will be back in stock. It is not specifically a Christmas stamp set. It's actually a stamp set that you can use for any season, and I'm so excited about it because I really like little red trucks, but I've been pushing myself out of my comfort zone and making trucks that aren't just red. So let's get started. When I'm setting up a new bundle, I usually just get a little clear container and put everything I need in it so I can just continue playing with it. So in this bundle there is the stamp set called Trucking Along, and there is the adorable punch. Now the punch is available right now, but the stamp set sold out. So Stampin' Up! Makes their own stamp sets, so that's why they were able to produce some a little more quickly than just ordering them. So the stamp set and the punch, they're a bundle, and I'm telling you, you should order it, and then you'll get, it's almost close enough to get your free coupon, but some of the products I'm showing you today you want to add on so that you can get your free product or your free coupon. So I usually keep some of the stamps that I use more often already mounted, and then I just have this ready to pull out when I'm going to play with this bundle. So I find that helps the way I organize my craft room. So the paper we're going to use today is Fresh as a Daisy, and we're going to be using this piece right here. This one sheet is so perfect. You just need to snip it up, and then you can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards really quickly. But we're going to use this one, and it's got a color in it that when it was first introduced, not everyone was in love with it, but I'll show you how beautiful it is. And it's a color I know we're going to use a lot in the fall. The other designer series paper I'm using today is Let's Go Fishing, so you could add this to your order so you can get a free coupon. I did a whole class on the Let's Go Fishing, and it's just a really fun paper pack, and the coordinating dies and stamp set are adorable as well. So hello, whoever's here, thank you for joining me. So for the stamp set, like I said, originally I was just stamping out little red trucks, and it's a two-step stamp, so you can stamp the outline with Memento and then go back in and stamp the colored image. And you have to do it a couple of times to get the alignment right, but I found coloring the truck was more pleasing to me, and I was using my Stampin' Blend so I could get some variation in the color. So here's one in Pool Party, And here it is in Pool Party, where I've added one of the images, which is the little gifts. So let me just show you the variety of things you have in this stamp set. So like I said, it's not just for Christmas. There's a palm tree, a Christmas tree. This looks like a cloud, but I'm not really sure why a cloud would be in a truck. But anyways, so there's the presents. If you wanted to do the two-step stamping, you could stamp that over top. These are little buckets of flowers, adorable. And then these look like sunflowers. I'm using this one today. And then this is the coordinating one for the two-step stamping. And then a tree, and then the truck rails that you could also use. I haven't used these yet. I haven't used a lot of it. I've only just started playing with it. And there's the outline of the truck, and that is the two-step stamping if you want to add color. And then there's, you could add the tires. To me, it was easier just to use my marker to do that. And then if you don't want to stamp, you can also just punch it out. So on the punch, there is the truck, the wheel well, you can punch out the window, and the tire. So what I did for this one is I punched out the truck in red, and then I added the wheel wells, the tires, and I punched out the window, but I don't know if you can tell, I put a little piece of window sheet behind so that it's clear. And then I stamped the tree and cut it out. And the trick, well, it's kind of a trick. If you ever played with paper dolls and had the little tabs, so when I fussy cut it out, I made sure I left a little tab so I could glue it onto the back of the truck. Now when you do that, you do have to get fairly close. I like it so it's hanging a little bit over the truck. So you do need to make sure that you cut it in here a little bit more than you might think, and then add your tree or the flowers. We're going to do flowers today. So like I said, it's for Christmas or not. And there's one again with the little window. Don't know if you can tell the little clear window there. So there's a lot of things you can do with this truck. Today we're not going to do Christmas, but I will show you two that I have done previously. So this one is using that beautiful one-horse open sleigh designer series paper, which is also not currently available. And when it comes back in stock, snap it up because it is incredible. And if you are registered for my Christmas in July class on the 27th, I do have your paper for you. So here I just added the little truck, and then I added the deer. Which dies are those from? Canopy. And just the silhouette of the deer, and this looks exactly like it would in my backyard with the deer eating all my plants. But the paper is so beautiful. All I added was the truck and the deer. So really quick and easy cards. This one was Lisa Freeman. I had seen it online, so I wanted to case it. And so again, just using the designer series paper. Wishing you a festive Christmas is one of the sentiments, the little tree and the truck. I add a wink of Stella to the rooftop to make the snow glisten, and to the tree. And you could add more trees, but really, I think that's beautiful. I don't think you really need to add a lot. So those are two more wintry ones, and now I'm going to show you ones that aren't so wintry. So let's start with this one. So when I saw this piece of paper, I thought, I like the scene here, and I want to add my little truck. So before I cut it out, I was just playing around with it a little bit. But it was too plain. So I wanted to make it look like it was a scene from a field of sunflowers, which we have around here. So what I did is I stamped the little image of the, I think they're sunflowers, I'm not really sure, the sunflowers. So the outline of the sunflowers, and then this is the what you would normally use as the second stamping. But what I did is I stamped some sunflowers. I could have got fancy and masked it and made it bigger, and I don't know, but I didn't. And then I just went ahead and used the second stamp and then just added some to the front very subtly. I stamped off first. So I stamped these ones in wild wheat. Not everyone's favorite, but I think you'll grow to love it. And I think in the fall you'll be using it a lot. And then I colored it with Daffodil Delight and Old Olive blends. I found those colors. I could have done all different colors of sunflowers, but like I said, I was just kind of playing around. And then I stamped, let me show you my experiment. So first I stamped in Memento, but I thought, no, that's way too dark. I didn't like how it's going to look, so I nixed that. Then I stamped in Wild Wheat, and I did like that. And here you can see the sample of where I colored in Wild Wheat. But then for this one, I actually stamped in Gray Granite. So I stamped in Gray Granite. I like the softness of that, and then I colored it. So that's what we're going to use in the truck. But the ones I did use on the paper, I did stamp in Wild Wheat. All right, so let's get busy and put this. Is a very simple card to put together. I also wanted to, when I first put it on, I thought, it's not really that exciting. So what could I do to make it a little more exciting? So I decided to take the Stylish Shapes dies and just cut that out, and then we're going to pop this up. So we have this, and I thought about adding another layer underneath this, but I decided not to because I kind of like it just the way it is. So I did check my glue. So let's just put this on. So the base is Wild Wheat. That's the other thing I was wondering if it should be Azure Afternoon, which is what this color is, or Wild Wheat. And I decided on Wild Wheat because I was going with the sunflower design. So that looks good. We've got our little sunflowers to the side, and I made sure I stamped one. I put this back in and made sure I stamped one here, just so for the continuity. Then we have our truck, and I also was deciding on which color truck I was going to use. Here's light green. I had a beige one because I thought that might be better, but it's a little too matchy-matchy, and I don't think it pops enough. So I decided on this one. And what we're going to do is pop this up with dimensionals just to add a little bit of interest, because the Designer Series paper is so beautiful. You don't really need to add anything to it, but it just needed something else. All right, so I'm going to take off these, and then I'll make sure I line it up. I did line it up before I stamped Special Delivery, which is one of the sentiments. And I really want to make sure my sentiment is straight. All right, so it's the same image, it just makes it a little more interesting, popping it up, I think. So now I'm going to take my little flowers, and I only left a little tiny tab here, I almost forgot. And we're going to put our flowers in the back. And you can see how I cut in fairly closely here so that I could layer it over like that. I just think it looks cool when it's got some dimension. I'm actually going to pop this up as well. You could just leave it plain, but hey. So we just have this little truck coming down the road into the sunflower field. Next, what I did, because it needed just something else, I didn't really want to put gems on it, so I took some of the Wild Wheat textured ribbon and I cut off the edge. So I cut off one edge, and then I used my little pokey tool and pulled the fibers out just like this. You can see here. And then I took a bunch of them tied them together and made this little bow. And I think it's pretty because it's a little more delicate than if the bow had been out of this whole ribbon. So now we're going to take a glue dot and attempt to put this on. And you could add, I saw another card that had a little cloud, but I'm not sure where it was from. A little cloud would be cute there, but really I think the paper does all the work for you. All right. My bow is not exactly even, but I think it's good enough. There we go. Special delivery. So you can see how this truck, although when you first think of a little red truck, you probably think of Christmas, but you can see how it can be used for many different occasions. So that's the first one, using the wild wheat color and the daisy paper. And then I had this fun idea that I wanted to do one with fish. Now, I know the scale of the fish to the truck is ridiculous, but it's every fisherman's dream to have fish that literally are the size of his truck bed, his or her truck bed. So what I did on one of the pieces of paper, this one, I fussy cut out a whole bunch of different fish. And then I took this piece, which is 5 3/4 by 5 1/4, scored at 1 3/4. And I saw this idea, fun fold idea, online by Julia Salva. And then she had found it from someone else, who I think was Candy Rattray. So you can fold it. At first I had it folded this way, but I just felt like that was a little too much going on for the card. So then I just took it and I flipped it the other way. And that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to glue down this. But obviously I wasn't even starting with this paper. I had one of the checked papers that I was going to start with. But then when I thought of the idea of the fish, I really wanted it to be blue. All right, so we've got that. It's going to fold out like that. Now, you could put a ribbon or something. I'll show you that in a minute where you could have, but I didn't. Then we have a piece that is 6 by 4, scored at 3 inches. And then this is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I just had a little scrap of this, so I thought I'd put it on the bottom. This is if you don't want to have much space to write. I could have trimmed this down a little bit, but I didn't. So there, I'm going to just put this. Now, depending on which way I did my fold, will decide which way it's going to come in. So because I've got this fold this way, this fold has to come this way. So let's just go ahead and put this in. And then just for fun, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. Oh, I forgot to do that on my little flowers. Everything needs Wink of Stella. So I'm just going to take it and do it on one flower, or one fish. Okay, so we got one fish. This is going to go on the front. So this paper is all from the fish. Let's Go Fishing Designer Series paper. So then this tucks in here, so it folds open and then open. So what I was going to say is I tried different ribbons or twines to, if you wanted to, you could add a twine behind here and have it tie at the side. I really didn't want to. I want to keep it simple. So now we're going to put this one on. Making sure I add a lot of glue because I don't want it to fall off. That would be embarrassing. Okay, right in the middle it goes. So we got that, we got that, we got that. Then I have my little truck, and I have my ridiculous amount of fish. Oh, there they are. I was going to say there should be more than that. And again, I could have done a blue truck, but I wanted something to contrast. And I tried it right on it, and I felt like I needed something behind it. So then I thought vellum, because the vellum will still show through. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with just the vellum. You could do this and then you could add your sentiment, or you could do it just on white and add the sentiment. I think I'm going to do vellum. But what I have to do first is build up my all my little fishies. So I'm just going to put some glue. Like I said, I realize the scale is ridiculous, but I think that's okay. So I want to put the smaller ones at the front. Like if you went out fishing and you came home with fish this big, wouldn't you be excited? So there's a bunch of different ones on this designer series paper. I'm overlapping them, so I need to add a little bit more glue. I want to make it look like a lot. Even though on the designer series paper, the ones that are just little half fishes are perfect. Let's do that one over there. And let's do this one. This is a huge one. Oh, it's so silly. All right, so there we have a truck with a whole bunch of fish. Now, maybe where you live, you can go out and catch fish that big. Where I live, I'm sure you can. So I'm going to put a dimensional here to kind of hold the fish in place, and then one here. And I'm going to put this on first. I do have some extra fish that I'm going to use. Okay, do I need one more? I think I'll do one more if I can get them in there. I need to cut off his tail. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on. I think you'd be pretty happy if you came home with fish that were this big. Now, I'm not putting a sentiment on this card because I don't know what I'd use it for. And you could pop it up again, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put glue right where it's not going to show through. And I'm going to put it up a little bit because I do have some other fish that I'm going to add to the bottom. So I have these ones that just for fun, I'm going to add like they're swimming along underneath the truck, which would not happen, but it's a card, so it can be whatever. The one thing about these little fish, they all go in the same direction because I thought it would be totally cute if I could cut off this little fish's head and put it driving the truck. But I think it would look like he's facing the wrong way. All right, so let's add some Wink of Stella to our fish. I think if you have someone that likes to fish, that they would think this card is funny. And you could add some embellishments if you wanted, but I think it's got a lot going on there as it is. All right, so a super simple fun fold. Judy Salva, I think, is the person who I saw it, and like I said, she credited someone else, so I'm not sure who. I've seen it around a lot. Just a really quick, fun fold. And those are the measurements. This piece was 4 by 6, And then this piece was 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Same with this piece. I always like to put that on the back of my card so that I remember what the measurements are. All right, so those are our 2 cards that we made today. And then I'll just grab the other 2 that I had already made. I'll just push that up. So these ones are not Christmas at all. This one's fall, sunflowers, and these ones are definitely a little more wintry. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope if you liked this video that you check Stampin' Up website tomorrow to see if the Truckin' Along bundle is available. It does say that it's supposed to be back in stock on the 17th, but we all know what happens with shipping and delays. You can check my website, mariannecowan.com, and it's under online exclusives. So it's not part of the regular catalog. The online exclusives are only offered online and for a limited time while supplies last. So thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it if you like or share my video. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you will know every time I post a new video. So have a great week. I'm headed to the cottage, but I will be posting some things while I'm up there. Thanks, everyone.